So Isbar, how are you generally before the formal webinar starts? How are you seeing the outlook of the economy for the next 6 months?
So that's again, because again today, if I don't know whether you all know or not, Germany has declared a second lockdown today.
Hmm.
So if second wave and the second lockdown starts, then again the whatever people are predicting, everything will go into doom. But otherwise, its expectation is that from November month it should pick up a little bit more. Whatever it has picked up in last couple of months, it
Hmm.
will pick up more. But still, it all depends how the policies come from the government. In fact, in India, for
Hmm.
the rest of the for next second month, in fact, 2 months to 3 months, what's going to happen?
Hmm.
So if the government opens everything, and if this rate is coming down, then
Hmm.
definitely economy is going to boom. By January, we can see a little bit very good scenario in the country. But if
Hmm.
that does not happen, then yes, there will be a challenge.
Acha, Vinay, before the formal session starts, I have a question on behalf of the students, which you can answer.
Yeah.
Suppose today there's again a fresh charter accountant, who is about just 20, 21 years old. So he's a very bright CA. Huh? So he has got an option with SREI, he's got an option with Pricewaterhouse, and he's got an option with ITC. Okay. So this CA or MBA has an option at PwC, option with SREI, and option with ITC. So can you compare the pros and cons and tell us ekdam honestly, because you have done so
So
well in life.
see, this comparison is a very good question, but it's if I have to answer this, I may take 1 hour to answer this. That's one thing. Second is, this all depends on the particular student or the person,
Hmm.
on his skill set as well as on his wish list and his passion of working and which
Ha,
field he wants to work.
okay.
Because all these companies' names which you have stated are all number one in their positions,
Yes.
but that all depends. Have you seen that ad of a Naukri.com, right? When guys washing the cloth
Mm-hmm.
in the wrong job kind of thing, that
Right.
so it should not be like that. That person ability and skill set should match with whatever he's choosing, so that person is the right person to decide what is
Mm-hmm.
his skill set and where he should go.
Mm-hmm.
Whether his skill set is more inclined towards manufacturing side, or in which function he's getting job, or what kind of job he's getting,
Mm-hmm.
which field he's getting, which geography he's working, what type of team he's working.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on him, whether he wants to be a fast learner, slow worker, or he wants to be lethargic life, or he wants to do a very ambitious life. It all depends on him, whether
Okay.
he's more into fault finding process, or he's more into constructive thing, or visionary, or destructive, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So this all fits and suits based on the particular person. It
Mm-hmm.
cannot be a generalized answer for everyone. If
True.
you do that, it's a wrong assessment for, or giving a
Nay,
advice to someone.
Vinay, what happens now sometimes, I'm just telling you, for the students are very young now. So they are carried away by the brands. They say, okay, this is a very big
It is
brand.
not carried away by the brand, it's a carried away by the friends.
Okay.
It is
Yes.
never, it's a brand is what when I have done my CA, or when I did my studies at that point of time, we used to know the brand. How do you used to know? By
Friends.
television ads, and the newspapers, and the people, and the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
These are the 3-4 things by which you know the brands.
Mm-hmm.
But what is there inside the brand, you don't know.
Yes.
The guy who's working in Reliance Industries with Mukesh Ambani might be the most unhappiest person in the world today,
Yeah.
but despite that, company is doing the best in the country.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So whether that person wants that kind of life, that kind of job.
No, but tell me something, Vinay, just to, in a short time. Suppose I was again 23 and I had got, let's say, 3 jobs. How can I find out what is going on inside? Suppose I want to know company ABC Limited, or ABC is, let's say, a consulting firm. How will I know what's inside it? For a young man of 23 years, how will you find out what's inside it?
See, I think if when a person attain the age of 23, that person would be knowing what is his skill sets, where is his inclination, what he wants to do, what he does not want to do, what he likes and what he does not like. What he should or she should do is to understand which organization where he or she is going, whether that is compatible based on his or her skill set. or requirement of his life or his own ethos. If that matches, then that person has an opportunity. He should or she should go and grab that rather than taking someone else's advice. In this field, I would always suggest that there are two way of working, doing a job. One is jumping and always changing the job and getting the promotions, and if the guy is very good, then they get the jump, and every second year they jump and get a new job, get a good promotions, and get a good hike, and they are might be in next 10-15 years they change at least 5-6 jobs, 7 jobs, and they see themselves in a very good post after 7-8 years. They are they can be termed as a with varied experience and successful person, right? And someone is like he's take a job and stick for 15 years, and there he does the the best in his life, and he gets into the top position of the of that company. So there is always a both approach. It depends again on the person. So PwC can be a very good organization for other people, or a chartered accountant, or a working person who wants to work with a mindset of having a very control on all these sections. And this again, whether it's into which function of PwC, it all depends on that.
Yes.
ITC again is such a large organization. He will be given some small functions where he has to work. Which, if you see in a small company, you might be seeing that he's doing a very small job, but having a very big brand with him. So that way. So it all depends what kind of that person has this eagerness to work and what he wants to do in his life.
Good. Okay, I think now it's almost time, so we'll start. We are at 86 not out right now. So I think there are always some people who because there's so many online classes happening, so they might be joining us. So Professor Sanjeev, can we just start formal starting?
So I express a very good evening to all of the students present here, our respected speaker, and our respected director sir, and my faculty colleagues. And before I start it, personally, I can say it's a very interesting topic, and I am also eager to listen to the proceedings or to the speech by our respected speaker. Now, to start the proceeding, first, I have a pleasure to introduce the moderator of this session, that is our respected director, sir. Dr. Jain Mukhopadhyay is a mechanical engineer from IIT BHU, and he is a PGDM. He has done his PGDM from IIM Calcutta and PhD from Jadavpur University, 3 prestigious institutions in the country. And he has a very rich experience of 17 years in industry, wherein he worked in various senior positions at the reputed organizations like Bamal-Lori, BOC India, then Al-Janin in Kuwait, and of course in SREI. He happened to be the senior vice president and national head of SREI Capital Markets. And then he entered into this academic field where he has an 18 years of rich experience. He has taught in prestigious management institutes in the country like IIM Calcutta, IIM Rohtak, IIM Bodh Gaya, IIFT, and so many. He is a very sought after speaker, and he has done many workshops in reputed organizations like Tata Motors, Metal Junction, Lafarge, McNally Bharat, and he has delivered lectures at various Chamber of Commerce, CII, to name a few. And he is the founding faculty and dean of Globsin Business School. He worked there for 12 long years. Then he joined Dedi Birla as a director, where he worked for 5 years. And then he joined as a director of Heritage Business School. And after that, on 9th of September 2020, he joined Calcutta Business School in the capacity of a director of our institution. And that's it. It's always a pleasure for me to say many words about Director Sir, because we have been closely interacting with him for last 1.5 months. So it is always a pleasure for me. So without any delay,
hey, Professor Sanjeev, a few lines on CBS also, since you have been there for 7 years.
That's why I have a pleasure to introduce CBS also. CBS is a part of 100 years old legacy of Shiksha Yatan Foundation. It was started in 2008, and it offers a 2 years AICTE approved full-time autonomous PGDM program. And we offer 4 specializations: operations, supply, this finance, marketing, and HR. And it operates under the aegis of Sikshatan Foundation with Ms. Sri S.K. Birla as the chairman. And this institute is located at 7 kilometers away from IIM Calcutta, and it has a 15 acres sprawling green campus, truly green campus. And we are organizing various events, seminars, and these webinars because we believe that education is complete without education is complete only when there are different inputs are given to the students. So we are organizing this a continuous activity, and we are very happy and privileged and honored to have Mr. Vinay Agarwal among us today. So without any delay, I request our director sir to take over the session.
So good evening to Sri Vinay Agarwal, to the faculty members and the students of Calcutta Business School. I'm very happy today that as a part of our Corporate Connect, we have got a very successful person, and all of you should try to emulate to be successful like him. I now know him for about 20 years, and I've seen how he has grown and developed and yet remained humble. The best part is that he has still remained humble. So most of us are knowing about the banks, but today the NBFCs play a very, very important part in the trade delivery mechanism of any country. So if India has to prosper along with the banks, the NBFCs have to grow. So therefore, we have chosen a topic of significance for NBFCs in the financial sector of India. And a formal introduction, though I know Vinay very well, but a formal introduction. He's a chartered accountant by profession, and he's a strategic solution-driven leader having over 30 years of experience and a long track record of successful management. He is Senior Vice President Shrey Equipment Finance Limited, proactively heading almost all the functions capable of resolving multiple and complex issues while assisting the management in carrying out important governing decisions. He is characterized as a visionary, a strategist, and a tactician. Vinay has received many awards for his outstanding leadership. He was awarded as the Sarvottam Vertical Award twice in a row and achieving the business target in April 2017 and April 2018. Now here, this is very important that, he has achieved the business target. One thing that I want to take the opportunity to tell all of you students is that if you want to do well in life, you must have to take targets and achieve them. Don't shy away from taking targets. Don't try to be an introvert. And I've seen how Vinay has grown over the last 20 years. And also the good thing is that he has also got accolades for the best innovation, best operation team, best performance award. And Vinay believes in spiritual leadership driven by values and lives them with integrity, right? So I think one more thing why I'm feeling very happy is that he represents Shrey, which was a small organization, very small organization in 1990. Today, I'm very happy because I worked there with Mr. Hemant Kanoria directly. The company has grown to 50,000 crores plus. 50,000 crores of assets are under the control. So I've seen it grow from 100 crores to 50,000 crores. So, one more inspiration I want to give to you today, to all of you, you are very young. Amra সবসময় চাকরি করব. চাকরি means চাকর. नौकरी मतलब नौकर. कभी-कभी I want some of you to come out with inspiration कि नहीं, नौकरी ने अपना खुद धंधा करेंगे यार. Dhanda is a very good word, My name is J.N. Mukhopadhyay, but my brain works like J.N. Maheshwari, So मुझे धंधा करना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So instead of becoming job seekers, try to be job creators. Like Mr. Dhruv Ambani said when he left Shell, तो पिताजी बहुत डर गए, बोले अब तू करेगा क्या? बोले पिताजी मैं Shell से बेहतरीन कंपनी बनाऊंगा. तो मैं चाहता हूं कि हमारे बच्चे में से ऐसा कोई निकले जो बोले सर कि मैं प्राइस वाटरहाउस डेलॉट से भी बड़ा कंसल्टिंग कंपनी बनाऊंगा. I want, and you have all the ingredients to make it happen. And if you think continuously, the whole kainat is going to conspire to make it happen. The whole universe will make it happen. हम लोग का क्या है ईस्ट इंडिया में बिना है, हम लोग सोचते ही बहुत छोटा है. We are so happy with 1 or 2 crores, कि हम लोग, we cannot think of Reliance also. So one of the things I want you to take from this webinar, these webinars are more useful sometimes than the theoretical classes. After 10 years, and Mr. Vinay Agarwal has come with a lot of preparation. It is not that he can speak non-stop or endlessly for 5-6 hours. But, he said, no, I'm going to come prepared. I have a presentation to show. So that is something, a big takeaway for us is, there is no substitute for hard work. If a project is given to you, you must work very sincerely, put long hours. And it will be about 45 minutes for Mr. Vinay. Then we'll take some question answers. Please take down notes, because these notes will help you. How it will help you? Suppose you have gone for a Pricewaterhouse or Deloitte or any interview, and you say, why should I select you? So you can say, sir, besides my theoretical classes, then Mr. Vinay Agarwal had come. You are such a successful professional from NBFC, and tell him about 1 or 2 points that CBS does this kind of webinar. So everything can be converted into an opportunity for you to do well in interviews. So I just want to tell the class is opportunity. I was told today that maybe the Pricewaterhouse interview has been postponed. It is not cancelled. So the PwC interview is going to happen. I'm going to personally see to it that this happens. And I take this opportunity to also tell Mr. Vinay Agarwal to request, because SRAE is a very large organization and he's a very important position. I'll also be very happy that if later on Vinay can help us get SRAE also in the campus. So I'm a very direct kind of person. So that is not the main agenda. The main agenda is talk, but I am just requesting him because, SRAE people, there are a very large number of CAs, company secretaries, cost accountants, and MBAs working there. So it's a great place to work. I can certify that. It's a place for people who want to work very fast, very hard. That is the thing. There's no place for laziness in SRAE. That's one thing I can tell you. And huge learning scope, huge growth scope is there. But now for the time being, so think of me. I've left SRAE, but I'm the brand ambassador of SRAE still, Vinay. I've left SRAE. So you must tell Kanoria sahab, JNM to abhi bhi aapko bhul nahi paya. Itna din ho gaya.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, so I'm a very good yes thing. So now Vinay, over to you. So please, we have, and Vinay, I want to congratulate you. We just crossed 100. It is now 101 not out.
Oh wow! Oh, congratulations to you.
So up till now they're listening to me. So they thought अभी तो अब मेन स्पीकर आया नहीं है. मेन स्पीकर आने में आते आते 100 क्रॉस कर गया हम लोग का. चलिए.
So guys, wish you a Shubha Vijay to all of you and a happy Dussehra. So and good evening to all of you. So and I'm really honored that JNM has given me this opportunity to interact with all of you. You all are so young leaders, and young blood who are, whom I can see myself, who was, 20, 30 years back, that I can see myself from your pictures, from some of one, pictures which I can see on this web in Zoom call. So what JNM has said, it's a fact that we are, we have a two mindset. Once we think about that, whether we have to go for a job, another we think whether we have to go for a doing business or creating something or innovating something, or be like a Flipkart or be like a any other startup or a new businessman whatsoever, or starts of their own or innovate something new, and be a successful and hire the person to whom we in fact always think of joining the other companies. So that kind of kick or the motivation comes out of that own thought process only, and definitely through the interaction of this kind of webinars and interacting with the people and exchanging the thoughts and the views, and then you develop yourself, and definitely hard work is required on each and every steps, and then you can achieve something. So with this, I would just what I'm going to do right now is, see, as JNM said, NBFC plays a very important role in Indian economy. And today, if you see, once you will see my slides where I have given few inputs about NBFCs. So these NBFCs play a very important role, and you will be able to correlate with your daily, consumptions and daily what kind of movement you see in the market, or the kind of consumption which you see in your family, in your relatives, in your environment, that how these NBFCs are playing the role. So if these NBFCs would have not been there, there would have been no such kind of a market which is as of now in any sector which I'm going to talk about it, which all are listed in the NBFC in this presentation. So I'll just start sharing my presentation. I think that will give you good. Just 1 second, I'll open that. So I'll do one thing. I'll switch off my. Okay. So who is the host? You have to allow me to share the screen, please.
Aishani, please help him with the screen sharing immediately.
No. I have been disabled to share the screen. So if
so Aishani, Sureshna, please call up Aishani to do the screen sharing. Aishani, Sureshna, तू Aishani नंबर जानो. एक मिनट विनय एक मिनट.
Yeah, okay, no issue.
In the meanwhile, you can just generally speak. I'm getting it done.
Yeah. So what? I will be giving the presentations right now. I'll be a little bit fast also because it has a little bit of more slides of 25-26 slides, and it has a lot of content. So only the thing that I would request, if you have to comment anything or if you have to give anything comment, you can write it in the chat box, so which can be used later on, and then when we have a question answer, I'll try to answer whatever is best possible for me as of now with the short span of time. And now my screen is shared. Okay, just wait. So now, are you able to see the screen? Jana, can you confirm?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Very nicely. Very nice and bright screen.
Okay, fine. So I'm as Janam said, I'm just giving a significance of NBFC, a brief little bit of insight. Myself, Vinay Agarwal, as already introduced by JNM. So what I'm going to cover is what is the overview of the NBFC sector. For someone, for benefit of everyone, NBFC is non-banking financial company, so which is under the regulatory control of Reserve Bank of India, RBI. So overview of NBFC sector, what is the competitive landscape, and considering you all as a student looking for the career in NBFC, just giving few pointers how it helps students to grab in NBFC, what to see, what not to see, what are the things over there which we can evaluate. That's what I was debating with discussing with JNM just initially, that why and what a person should see when he or she has to go for a job. So this is what I'm going to cover it. So this is just a disclaimer that this opinion expressed is just of mine. Nothing it relates to my company, and I am not making any kind of expressions or implied. This is a disclaimer which everyone knows about it, and reproduction of this is cannot be done without my consent. Okay, so now going to So if you see, it's a shocking thing which I'm going to reveal to everyone. In India, there are 10,215 NBFCs are there, non-banking financial institutions. So this non-banking financial institutions are broadly categorized into 3 categories. So one is all India financial institution, which are generally controlled by this portion. This is controlled by the government. Then there's a non-banking financial companies, and then is a primary dealers. So let me first take all India financial institutions. This is basically, you must have heard about these names of the NABARD, SIDBI, National Housing Board, and then Exim Bank. So these 4 institutions are the government NBFCs which are there in the country. Then comes the non-banking financial institute companies, which are basically mainly are private or semi-private. So these are the companies where we have a NBFCs with D means, which are deposit taking companies, and NBFCs which are non-deposit taking companies, means they does not accept public deposits. Then we have housing finance companies where they give loan for the housing finance. So these are the basically 3 categories of non-banking financial companies in India under private sector. And then we have, and which again, if you categorize this, one second, if you subdivide again this non-banking finance company into 2 parts. One is systematically important NBFCs, which according to RBI is the companies which have a net worth of more than 500 crore rupees, they are systematically important NBFCs. And another one is, which is other NBFCs which are non-deposit taking companies, but they are not so systematically important companies. So in India, if you see, out of this 9,642 NBFCs, only 274 NBFCs, which is again a huge number, are systematically important NBFCs, which are again non-deposit taking companies. And rest 9,187 are NBFCs which are floated by a lot of chartered accountants, promoters, companies, and a lot of other business houses for their own transactions or investments. A lot of other NBFCs are there. I'll explain the kind of NBFCs are also there. And then there is a primary dealers, which are also termed as an NBFC. They are generally deal with bank PDs and the standalone PDs. So they are not much, but again, these are completely regulated by the government. And if we total the entire NBFC's branches in India, it is around 29,000 branches, which are there on pan-India basis. So this has a huge presence in India and across all the parts of the country. So this is basically an overview of what NBFC's presence and type of NBFCs in India are, and which is again controlled by only Reserve Bank of India. So moving ahead. So again, now I was talking about type of NBFCs. The type of NBFCs there in left hand side, if you can see, these are types of NBFCs, and in the box it's mentioned what type of NBFCs it is. So if first is like asset finance companies, these are financing companies, NBFCs, who does the funding against the tangible and fixed assets. Basically, sorry, not a fixed asset, tangible assets, like automobiles, means car, trucks, and all that things, tractors, generators, construction equipments like we do, any equipment, any movable assets which you see in the market, or anything else which are physically can see, you can see and feel, touch and feel that assets, and which has a market value. These assets are funded by these NBFCs. So this, and then these NBFCs are termed as asset finance companies. So that's in fact, Shrey Equipment Finance is also asset finance company. Then another is a loan company, where the company that NBFCs gives loan to the other company. Their only objective is to give the loan. They just see their security in any other form, or they give unsecured loan also, but their job is to give the loan and earn out of it and act as a interest earning company. Then there's an investment company, which means they acquire the securities for the purpose of selling. They buy the securities. Securities can be government securities, gilts, or bonds, or any other securities, including stock market also, share securities, and they buy, and the purpose is to sell also. Then NBFC Infrastructure Finance Company, which is basically the objective of this type of NBFC is to give loan for the infrastructure projects, and their at least 75% of the lending should be in infrastructure funding of whatever total lending they are doing it. Like in my group, Shrey Infrastructure Finance, which is our holding and listed entity, that is a NBFC under IFC. It's an IFC company basically. Then it comes the NBFC systematically important.
Acha, Vinay, can you please explain the difference between the two Shrey companies so that it becomes more clear? We know it, but can you just tell between the two companies? The one you said was AFC and one is the IFC, you said.
Yeah. So for IFC, the company has to mandatorily invest 75% into infrastructure projects only. When we talk about infrastructure projects, there's a definition given by the RBI that what do you call it as infrastructure projects. So the money should be deployed for that particular projects only. Whereas an asset finance company can give loan for the equipments, assets, which are tangible and which is physical, which may not be used for infrastructure projects, right? For example, I give loan for tractors. I give loan for medical equipments. I give loan for Oracle software in PwC. I may give, might be a SAP to Axis Bank, SAP software funding. I may give, so these are not an infrastructure, but it's an asset, right? So I am giving against an asset for which Shrey Equipment Finance is doing funding, which Shrey Infrastructure Finance, means an IFC, cannot do that. Or they can do a very small portion of that out of their entire funding eligibility what they have. I think JNM is clear now to you.
Yes, yes, right,
Okay.
right.
So then is NBFC systematically important core investment company, which is making investment and loan to group companies. Basically, these companies are generally maintained by the promoters of the business houses. So then next is the infrastructure debt fund, because these are not very important companies, but yes, I'm just naming that so that you know what type of NBFCs are there. Infrastructure debt fund NBFCs, which are basically they invest in the long-term debt and infrastructure projects. So they just do investment for long-term, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, like that. Then they have another is NBFC microfinance company credit, which is basically for the microfinance funding, which happens in the rural areas generally. Most of the times, these companies are there. Like we have seen Bandhan Bank, which was earlier a microfinance company in Calcutta. We have Arohan, we have Uttarayan. We have a lot of microfinance companies in Calcutta. In fact,
So here I want to just tell Vinay one very important thing to all the students.
yeah,
It is very inspiring that this small company Bandhan, which was a microfinance,
yeah,
has got a banking license. And as we know, he had a very humble background. So therefore, I think the message Vinay we have to give to the young generation is that everyone starts small and then becomes big.
true.
If
That is true.
you're, so I think this Bandhan is a very good example, Vinay, right?
Yeah,
Like Sray, it has also started small and become so big.
yeah, true. So sorry. So the
Vinay, you
next,
can go to the next slide. This is more or less clear. You can go to the next slide.
yeah, I'll just read out the name then.
Yeah,
NBFC
yeah.
sector. Then we have microfinance. Then we have NBFC sector, which is basically used for loans and securities. Then we have holdings company, which is NBFC holding company. Like to become a bank, NOFHS, a person, Bandhan Bank also had one this NBFC non-operational financial holding company, which used to hold the shares of Bandhan Bank. Then only it can become a bank. It can convert into bank. So that's a requirement of the RBI. Then it's a mortgage guarantee company. Then we have a NBFC account aggregator. There's a lot of aggregation which happens. Then NBFC peer-to-peer lending. This is basically this is a new type of lending where might be JNM is lending and Vinay Agarwal is borrowing, right? So it happens through a portal, and this is a very recently developed type of funding this thing, which are very much prevalent in Western world. Came to India 3-4 years back. The leading company for this is in Pune, who is doing that. So lending, this is basically peer-to matchmaking of the person who's lending and the person who wants to borrow. So it's a small amount of for a might be 1,50,000, 10 lakh, like that happens, and the risk and rewards are between the both of them. The guy who's buying, but only the aggregator is the platform which is being used. So it's like you can say an OLX for NBFC, basically lending and borrowing. So if you talk about NBFCs, the genesis of NBFCs, this pre 1998, there was a lot of NBFCs, but there was no controller like RBI regulates and controls these days. It was not like that. It came into the picture 1998, RBI with full force, and they wanted to control a lot of NBFCs, which are thousands of NBFCs which are there in the country. Then not thousand, it was at that point it was in lakhs, I think. And then post 98, there was a lot of prudent guidelines came that this way an NBFC is to be run. These are the rules, regulations laid down. Everything was done. So that era of 10 years till 2008, it went. This NBFC rate was working where every day a new guidelines used to come from the government, from Reserve Bank of India, and the interest rate regime was also low, and the specialized NBFCs emerged from that because they have found that opportunity that which, like for example, Shriram Transport has emerged as a commercial vehicle finance company. Shrey has come as an infrastructure finance company. Then Bajaj has come as a consumer finance company. Like that, all these type of NBFCs, they have emerged in last 10 years, in this particular 10 years and 10 to 15 years. Few were before 98 and few were emerged within this years. So then post 98, 2008, what happened is the cost of the borrowing means this NBFCs actually act as an intermediary. They borrow funds and they lend it to the borrowers, right? They lend it to the borrowers, the guy who wants the funds, basically. It can be the different various industry sectors, person, entity, like that. So this when NBFC act as an intermediary, they also borrow either from the banks or from the institutions, or they raise capital, or they borrow it from foreign entities, or through ECB routes, or whatever. There are various mechanisms through NCD debenture routes, and a lot of mechanisms are there for borrowing the money. So post 2008, what has happened is this borrowing cost, the aggregate cost of this NBFCs of borrowing has gone up. Why? Because lot of NBFCs demand came in the market post 2008. How it has come in, what it is, that will I'll show it in the another slide. But it has observed a healthy growth in the market. And then currently today is what has happened is this NBFCs has become a very important element in the financial system. How it has happened, what has happened, that we are going to talk about it, just to give you a brief idea how why it is so important. So if you see the total NBFC credit in the GDP of India for the financial year 20 is around 15%, which is very, very, very high compared to any other industry if you see which contributes in the GDP. So if you see this particular bar chart, this blue portion is this here on the x-axis it's a financial year, and on the y-axis it's a percentage. So if you see this financial year 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, this blue portion is the bank's market share, which was 76, 74, 73, 71, 70, 70, and 69. Whereas if you see the NBFC, which is in green, it is 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 23, 22, like that. So this has gone down at this financial. This is because of the reason of one debacle which has happened in the NBFC, that is of ILFS, which I believe you all being into a financing background, you must be knowing what has happened in ILFS. So which I'm going to talk about a little bit, touch upon that also. So this is the basically your market share of NBFCs. And if you see the market NBFC credit growth, its credit growth is CAGR at the rate of 16.7%, which is very, very high, and which was expected to be 30 for the financial year, this projection, but with considering the COVID and pandemic situation, this may not be so high this year.
I want to tell my students one very important thing, that always choose an area which is growing very fast. 25 years back when we started our career, maybe automobiles was a very good sector. Yeah. Today we know automobiles is not a good sector. Tata Motors is suffering. So there is no point of, because our parents may tell us ki Tata Motors ko bhalo company, because Tata Motors is declaring losses. All the automobile companies are in big problem. Whereas as you can see from the graph, which is absolutely an accurate graph. So if the NBFC sector grows very fast, then naturally your career will also grow very fast. So this is not time pass. This graph, you have to understand the graph, that if any sector is growing very fast, if the NBFC sector is going to grow very fast, and there is so many types of NBFCs, you will definitely have a good growth if you are there. And the other thing I want to tell all my students is that there is no one today who can guarantee you a 100% job for next 25, 30 years. Even the IAS officers, IPS officers are being retired. Nowadays, if you read a newspaper, they have been compulsorily retired. So only way to protect your job is to become more employable. If you are in a sector which is growing, and if you have a talent is there, you will never lose your job. Even if you lose your job in one company fighting with your boss, there will be 5 takers for you. So be a person who is employable. Quotient is very high. Vinay, do you agree with this? What I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah. So next is, this is what NBFC credit growth outperformed banks, except for this last 2 years. Means what we were talking last slide is the same thing over here, which I'm talking about, which we can see from the graph. If you see that the growth, the blue line is of banks and the green is of NBFC. So if you see the growth of NBFC, if in the year financial year 17-18, it was growing more than the banks, and it was growing very much. But post the issue of ILFS, which was a 91,000 crore issue, which has come out in the market, everyone has become cautious. They have stopped lending to the NBFCs. So NBFCs money got dried up. Whatever they have lent, they used to they used to recover that money, and the source of fund to NBFCs were very limited, because the lenders, means like banks or institutions, used to lend to the NBFCs become very much skeptical for whether to invest. If ILFS can be uh, uh, in problem, then any other NBFC can be a problem, because ILFS used to be a big and a giant organization where people used to be think that it used to be a very properly managed company, so which was proven wrong in future, which we came to know now. I'll explain a little bit of things. I'll touch upon what was there in the this thing, ILFS. So in the last 2 years, the growth, the banks have grown up, NBFCs have not grown up. They have in fact degrowth, and there was a 800 bips of slowing in NBFC credit. If you can see from the chart, also it's showing, and but it is expected that in retail segment, the NBFC growth will be there, and that market is going to grow in the coming time till something big happens in the market, whereas wholesale and MSE segments to witness very significant slowdown, which MSME still the government is trying to do that. But yes, because the definition of MSME has become huge now, so that kind of credit growth for MSME will not be much. Means lower segment of MSME will get a good growth, but not the higher segment of the MSME, because now the definitions of MSME has gone to a level that 250 crores of turnover also qualifies as an MSME. So that kind of companies might be they get challenged to get the credit unless and until their rating is AAA or AA like that. So then why NBFCs have grown so much? Why banks have not grown? If you see from this chart, NBFCs have always grown. If you see again this one, you see that NBFCs captured the market. Why? What is the reason why banks have not been able to capture the market? Because the banks where PSU banks and private banks have come in, but still they lack few things which are narrated here. So these NBFCs, what they have done, which I've stated in an initial slide, that in 2008, each NBFC has taken and chosen a specialized field, and they have become master in that field. Like someone is into cars, someone is into bike funding, someone is into commercial vehicle funding, someone is into bus funding, someone is into infrastructure equipment funding, someone is into consumer funding, someone into housing loan. So they have developed that expertise. Whereas one bank doing all the things in the one bouquet, and they don't have that expertise and specialize that how to do partnership with the borrower, how to go along with him if that person is in trouble, how to understand his challenges, and how to resolve the challenge, how to safeguard their money, and how to take back the money which was lent. So the banks have burnt a lot of hands on that, because they don't know the deep understanding of either of the business or of the customer, or the kind of a business model what they used to operate. So which NBFCs have done a lot in the market. So you can correlate these words with, you can see the kind of if you go to buy a fridge or a television or a mobile phone, and the kind of funding you get in the shop itself, and have you ever seen banks over there? These days you have seen private banks, but never PSU banks you can see over there. And NBFCs are always there. If you go to Khosla Electronics, if you go to Great Eastern, you will find a lot of NBFC people are standing over there to just give you a finance for your whatever consumer durables you are buying it. So there's a deep understanding of the customer requirement of NBFCs. They have done. They have understood the niche and the customized product offering. They have done it. They have developed it, understanding the requirement of the customer. They have a wider and effective reach. They have came out of their offices. They have went to the field. They were into the field near to the customer and to the place where customers are reaching. So they have leveraged technology. So they have used all the technologies and advances and improved efficiencies and enhanced experience. So standing over there, they used to do all kind of verifications, and they used to give everything, whatever you want, either at your doorstep or at the spot wherever you are, and they give you that kind of facility which banks have not given. And that is the reason banks have, with use of the technology and outreaching customers, they have been able to grow more compared to this traditional bank style. And this is actually, if you see, this is not applicable only to the NBFCs. This is applicable any industry who has followed this, they have grown. And any industry who has not followed this, they have not, either they were stable or they have degrown, or they have been grown because of might be a monopolistic situation. Otherwise they have not grown. So then there's a co-lending arrangements they have done. So NBFCs, with the RBI recent policy a year back, they have gone into funding arrangement with the banks. So they are using the bank's fund, but they have become the front end and they do the funding to the customers, understanding the customers in the market and using the bank's fund. So that intermediary word which I used for the NBFCs, that has also got resolved using this mechanism which RBI has given to the NBFCs. Then definitely there's a robust risk management with the NBFCs, with the advanced technology, understanding of the usage of the advanced technology, uh, AI tools, and few are still started using blockchain and very good analysis of risk and understanding the market. So the combination of all this, they have made a very good risk management policies in within the company, and they have used that, and that is the one of the reason for the success of the NBFCs. So now these were a little bit about NBFCs. Now what is the competitive landscape? What you get in the NBFC, that I'll go talk about a little bit. So if you see what are the type of NBFC which we see in the market, we have spoken about different type of NBFCs. Now what are the type of NBFCs? If you see, you start with here. So there is a infrastructure company, infrastructure NBFCs, MSME NBFCs, microfinance NBFCs, housing NBFCs, wholesale NBFCs, construction equipment NBFCs, auto NBFCs, gold NBFCs who gives gold loan, and there's a CDs NBFCs. So basically, if you see the majority, because the huge money is required for the infrastructure developers, 27% of the NBFCs are infrastructure lending NBFCs. Then is the NBFCs of MSME, and then microfinance, and then housing. So these are the 4-5 categories who are actually capturing this market. Sorry. So retail segment, which includes housing, auto, and MSME sectors, these basically they cover 50% of the total NBFC market and the market pie of the NBFC. Infrastructure is again, which I said 25%, HFC and wholesale. So basically, this is the composition in the market of the NBFCs in India, which is 15% of the GDP, which is a 203 trillion GDP of the country. So now competitive positions, how and what is the competitive position of each NBFCs? Infra finance, what they do is they are specialized institutions having a competitive of cost of funds. So by which they are able to give long-term funds to the contractors who are working for infrastructure development. For example, like the guy who took 5 years to develop that tunnel from in Ladakh, which has connected recently, right? It was, I think we have seen in the news also. So it took 6 years, 7 years, 5 years to conclude that tunnel. So now the revenue of that tunnel will be received in next 10 years, but it has costed 6 years. It took 6 years to construct where there was no repayment. So this is infrastructure financing. So the NBFC who has paid to the contractor to build that tunnel for the order which the tunnel was given to a contractor by the government, and that money they have taken for 6 years, they have not repaid anything. That was a gestation period which was going on. Now the tunnel has been opened up. Now there will be revenue out of that, because the toll tax will be paid. From that toll tax, it will be paid off the money to the lender, and the money paid off will be for the next 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, depending on the traffic what is expected in that tunnel. So this is one of the example of infrastructure finance. Just I wanted to make you understand. There is a housing finance company where it's a very competitive rate. We get 6, 7, 8% housing loan and better customer service. So that we have all experienced that. This housing finance companies, like I'll tell the names in the next slide. Then there's an auto finance company where we go and buy the bike, cars. We go and or we want to buy a second-hand bike or second-hand car. We get a loan from the NBFCs on that. But if you go to the bank, we run pillar to post, but the turnaround time is so high, and that formalities are so high that people don't go, and they go to the NBFCs only. Then there is a gold loan, which we have seen a lot of ads by Amitabh Bachchan also, Manappuram Finance or Muthoot Finance, and where we get against the gold jewelry or the gold bar, the loan, which is up to the extent of 90% also, and the rates are a little bit high, but the tenures are very short. Then we have a construction equipment finance where we are into, and it is focused on basically, because this segment is where the asset itself earns the money. For here, and if you talk about auto finance, these two segment, here the asset itself earns the money. So if you fund, suppose a taxi over here, the taxi is earning money and they repaying the money. Here, if you talk about the construction equipment finance, like excavator or a dumper or a JCB 3D backhoe loader. So these assets, basically what they do, they do the work and they earn money whatever time they work. So by that they repay the money. That's a construction equipment finance. So here the documentations and everything is very smooth, very minimal. So, and again, then there is a microfinance company, which is, we have spoken, the extensive reach into the rural market where the interest rates are low, and it is basically a chain kind of funding which happens. Then we have an MSME finance where today, means from, in fact, post pandemic, government is focusing more on MSME and they're trying to increase the all the facilities to MSME. So here, this the segment, all NBFCs who are into MSME funding, they are getting good benefit out of it. Wholesale financing is basically the financing to a large corporate, big corporate, or a bulk basically funding where the value of funding is higher, very high. So there, as of now, that offtake from the market is very low compared to the situations of pandemic, and the industries are suffering because of pandemic. But yes, till 2 years back or 1 year back, this used to be a driver in the NBFC market. Then there's a consumable durable loans, which we have discussed. The live example.
Vinay, can you tell us the magnificent success of Bajaj Finance? Why is it that Bajaj Finance seem to be doing extremely well?
Yeah, that will come. Let's go to the next slide. We'll come to on that.
Okay.
So if we are talking about this type of NBFCs with the name, so if we talk about infrastructure finance, so these are the companies which holds a 42% of the market share. And L&T Infrastructure Finance, Power Finance Corporation, government organization, Rural Infrastructure, Rural Electrification Corporation, again it's a government organization. Shrey, which is my company. PTC India Financials, it's again a government entity. Then we have Auto Finance, which I was talking about, commercial vehicle, private vehicle, cars, tractors, two-wheelers, which the new equipment, means new assets, funding is 37.5%. And see, the used asset, means the second-hand cars or the vehicle, that is 81% funded by NBFCs, not by the banks. So understand this psychology in the market. The people are coming to NBFCs because NBFC is much more liberal and faster compared to banks, and that is why used 81% market is with NBFCs. So here, this Shriram Transport Finance is there, Mahindra and Mahindra Financial is there, Cholamandalam Finance is there, Sundaram Finance is there, Magma FinCorp, Calcutta-based company is there, Tata Motor Finance is there. In housing finance, which holds 35% of the NBFC share, is SDFC, the leader is there. Indiabulls Housing Finance is there, PNB Housing is there, LIC Housing is there, Canfin Homes is there, Gree Finance is there. Why I'm saying all these names? Because to make you familiar, make you understand, because we have heard all these names day in, day out, either here or somewhere. So just to make you understand, these are the NBFCs in the market. So if you see a Gold Finance, which holds 26% of the market share, is that Muthoot Finance, Manappuram Finance, Muthoot FinCorp. So two companies are there of Muthoot. So then Construction Equipment Finance.
Vinay, one clarification in Gold Finance.
Yeah.
26% NBFC. The balance 74% is with whom?
With the banks.
Achha, banks. Directly with the banks.
Yeah. So Construction Equipment Finance is 35% is NBFC, where Shrey Equipment is there. HDB Financial Services there. HDB is again an NBFC of HDFC Group only. Means HDFC Bank, and HDFC Finance Services. Tata Capital is there. Sundaram Finance is there. Microfinance holds 32%, which is Arohan, Ashirwad Microfinance, Credit Access Grameen Limited, Namra Finance, Bandhan, Spurti Financial, Satin Medicare, Muthoot Microfinance is there. So, and diversified again, that means they are not particularly only focused with one particular sector, but they're into various sectors, which is SDFC, Edelweiss, Bajaj Finance, Capital First, Shriram City Union. So, Janam, to your question about Bajaj Finance, first answer is Bajaj Finance is backed by.
1 minute, Vinay, 1 minute. Some noise is coming from.
Someone has to mute.
1 minute, just 1 minute. Shudeshna,
Please
Sudeshna,
mute.
Sudeshna, can
Please
you be
mute.
muted? Sudeshna, I think some noise is coming from your thing. I think she's traveling. So
Yeah,
now it's fine.
yeah.
हाँ विनय बोलिए.
So Bajaj Finance, one you first is that they are basically an old businessman from I think from independence. They are
Yes.
having a huge capital.
Yeah.
They already had, they were sitting themselves on huge cash and capital, and they are completely supported by the cash rich Bajaj Auto and other Bajaj companies with them. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's one of the thing. So it's not that like Bandhan Bank, that Mr. Ghosh has come only with the Bandhan Bank, nothing else.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like any other entrepreneur, but they have other businesses also.
Yes. Yes.
That is one of the thing for the success first, which is I'll talk about the back support, which I can call it, backup.
Yes.
They
Yes.
had a backup. That's one. Second is they have entered into the segment where no one was there, which is consumable durable first initially. So they started with giving 20,000, 10,000, 5,000 loan. If I have to buy a fridge of 20,000, I used to get a loan from Bajaj Finance, right? So that is the thing where they have entered and controlled the retail market, which was one of the, and there the margin is very high. So the rate, what used to they get in each retail market is 16, 17%, 18%, 20%, like that. Okay. So the rate is not the rate what we see in our, repayment terms. That's a 0% and all that. It's not only that, they get subsidized by the manufacturer also. So, but at the end of the day, the return to the Bajaj Finance is 18, 19%, 20%. So that
Right.
kind of, rate they are fetching it. Plus, the market initially they have captured is, so if suppose we have bought I'll give an example. If I have bought a television at my home, I would not like that, I would not repay the installment unless and it is so emergency that I cannot pay, that anyone can come at my home, at my residence, and pick up the television. And go
Television.
away. So okay, so that they are into that kind of segment. So they are funding the small money to the volume of the people, and with the highest of margin. Plus their system processes risk and everything is very, very, very robust. We have studied that also, and corporate governance also very good. Plus they have diversified not only they were not only into consumer durables, they have diversified in insurance, they have diversified into construction equipment, commercial vehicles, other all segment also. That is why they are coming into a diversified business house. So
I just want to tell my students that, seeing such large number of names, we may have fascination for a particular company, particular industry, but somehow or other, I feel that if I was again 23, seeing so many big names growing at such a fast pace, let us keep our career option open to make a career with about this. There are 10,000 NBFCs, as he is saying, but if you even take the top 100 NBFCs or top 50 NBFCs, I think it is definitely worth making a career in. Vinay, one quick question for my students.
yeah,
Career in a NBFC versus career in a bank. Can you please tell us that, Vinay?
yeah. So I have slides for that. I think
Okay.
it'll get automatically answered.
Okay.
So this is what about NBFC key players. Now these what you are asking. I'm covering into this. What opportunity we suppose if I am a 23-year-old student with JNM, how do I see myself? How do I correlate myself with the NBFC? How can I get into that? Right? What I should think? What is there in my mind? How do I compare my skills with the NBFC skills required? Right? So these basically things I'm going to cover in these slides, which will help everyone, this 100 people or more than that in this call, so that they can benefit everyone, all of us. So if you see in NBFC, which is more or less similar to the banks also, these are the major functions which you find in any organization who are into lending business. So first, let's talk about sales. The guy who will go and do the sales, who will bring in the business in the company, right? So it's not serially ordered, but I'll just take one by one. Sales. Second is the collection. Once we give the money, we have to collect the money also. So whether he want to be a collection person who is good in negotiation, collection, persuasion, follow up, nagging, blah blah blah, for doing collections, or who used to love traveling, that kind of the skills, or understand the business or the problems and try to solve the problems, that kind of skill set of the person can go to the collections. Sales is the person basically skills having, who can understand that what is the thought in the mind, who can read the customer's mind and understand the requirement, and can mold his product into the requirement of that person. Like, say when I go to buy a phone, I think, in my mind there's like always that, oh, I work in a corporate, I should have only black color phone. Or if I am a girl, I think that, I should have a red color phone or with a fancy phone. So a salesperson who's standing over there and who will facilitate the shopkeeper and the buyer with that phone, that, oh, you can go for, ma'am, you can go for red color, or sir, you can go for a black color phone, or it's a design, it will suit your status. All that kind of things you can add on the frills, and win my mind as a customer, and he may also sells his product to me also, add on to that. So this is a person who understands the psychology very well, and who's smarter enough to read the mind at a spot and tweak his language and the sales pitch and sell his product. Collection, I've said about it. Credit is the person who has a good deep analysis thought process, who can deep down into the things, and who does the analysis of whatever proposal this sales guy brings in. He does the analysis and say, yes, he's a credit worthy, is good, he can be given money, he will be able to repay the back that money. So this is the guy. Risk is the person who controls all these three persons and see that what they are doing is within the ambit, within the rules, regulations, laid downs, and they are not going beyond the things. The act and reactions to what they are doing is within the laid down parameters. They are not going beyond the things. Otherwise, it can burst into like ILFS, which I'm going to talk about later on. So there's a legal and the compliance team who are who are good in legal, and who loves sections, who knows how to fight for the make a case study. So these guys work fit over in these functions. Their job is to frame the legal framework for the sales, for the collections, for the organizations, and for various legal stands which has been taken for different recovery tools which happens in the organization. Analytics is basically the guy who does the analysis of the entire organization, that what is the numbers, where the trend is going, what the trend is. Basically, he develops the statistics within the organization. Outside the organizations, he takes the data and brings in the information that where and what we should do, bringing the projections of the organizations. Then there's a technology which supports all of these functions, and who has to be updated every day with all the new tools, new methodology which is coming. It has to be adopted in the organization, implemented, so that the entire team, the entire organization gets benefit out of it, including the customer. So these are the basically broad functions. I'm not talking about accounts, I'm not talking about treasury, I'm not talking about HR, I'm not talking about these, are because they are common to all the organizations. I'm talking about what specific functions which are there in an NBFC, which can help you out to understand, apart from normal functionality, what additional functionality which NBFC has. So from where these NBFCs recruit the people. So in financial year 19, because 20, let's not talk about, because it's a very abnormal year, NBFCs hired around 10,000 employees across various departments, right? So that much employment has been created by the NBFCs. TeamLead's estimate is, which was, I think now it will not be correct, that this growth is going to get 150%, means 15,000 is going to be employed. But still we are keeping finger crossed. Everyone is waiting. The moment the market is, normalized, say we get a vaccine, or the market, the pandemic situation comes into control, or the industry gears up, anything happens first, this is the sector which is going to jump immediately. And UFC use all sources as that of other industries. That includes campus hiring, freshers hiring, and feet on street. So these people NBFCs do recruit. Lateral, JNM, I would like to explain you this slide more to the students. This will benefit everyone. I'm just taking this. Lateral experience hiring with the BFS. Basically, we need more experienced person to be recruited for mid-level or the senior level. So that we take it from the BFSI sector, means banking, financial service industry sector. Then the contractual hiring for special projects like with niche skills, that depends on business excellence. That happens very low, but and to a specific project, what we get the employed, for a particular special project. So basically, for you all guys, I think this campus hiring, fresh hiring, and feet on street, these from this green segment here, you can catch up to an NBFC, and from here you can go to the ladder of NBFC. And so I think in NBFC you can get the climb the ladder very fast if you are performing, and if you're hardworking, and if you're street smart. You can climb the ladders like anything, and you can get the success in, might be in, I have seen people within 6 years, 7 years, they have come to the middle management, and in 7-8 years they have come to the top management also in the NBFCs. It depends on the person's capability and the capacity, and how much that person can devote and innovate within the organization, and he can compete in the organization to grow the organization and grow himself or herself. That's what I've seen in the organization. So JNM, if you want to speak something on this to the student.
No, I was just telling that, the students must take full advantage of this top 50 NBFCs, including SREI, to make a career. That's what I'm saying. Acha, Vinay, one question, if you can address, I think most chartered accountants and most MBAs, they don't want to take any target-oriented jobs, any sales-oriented jobs, any marketing-oriented jobs. Can you please tell how the chartered accountants respond to a target-oriented job and how they do it? Can you please tell that?
Who said they don't take a target-oriented?
No. I'm just asking you. I'm saying
I am saying each and every chartered accountant. Forget about chartered accountant. Each and every person is having a target-oriented, na?
Yeah.
So
I've seen many.
I am just countering you, JNM. I'll give an example. If I want to be a chartered accountant, if I have to give my exams, either it's a first exam, second exam, third exam, fourth exam, or a deadline, I'm taking a target that by this time I'll complete my studies.
Yeah.
So everybody's taking.
No, Vinay, what happens is, I've seen many students का जनरल है कि MBA कर रहे हैं, CA कर रहे हैं, मतलब एक कंप्यूटर के सामने बैठ के काम करेंगे, वो ब्रेन का काम करना चाहते हैं, बट कहीं कस्टमर से जाके मीट करके उसको कन्विंस कराना, ये ऑफिस के बाहर जाके कहीं मीट करना, ये मैंने देखा है बहुत लोग नहीं करना चाहते. सोचते हैं हम लोग.
That is nothing else. That is only a mind blockade.
Achha.
It's a mind blocker. I'll tell you one thing. I suppose if I am an accountant, right? I am in charge of an expenses. I am sitting in my laptop in my office in my desk. I have been given a bill by JNM to pay the bill of, say, for example, for example, say you have bought the stapler, 500 stapler you have bought for the entire class, right? सबके लिए bought. Now you have floated up. You have said कि विनय देखो ये एक हम लिए हैं. You see it is right or wrong. What do? I as a chartered, I apply my brain. अरे इसमें GST ठीक लगाया कि नहीं लगाया? Rate, I compare that from the different markets. I go to the website. I call up to the vendor. I said, I will call up because JNM is a director. He has given me from my school. So I will call up, boss. Your rate is 20 rupees per stapler. I'm getting it 18 rupees. So I'm talking to him. So I'm taking a target. Now JNM has said only to see it, right? As a chartered accountant, I will see कि boss कैसे इस price को मैं कम कर सकूं. Correct? How can I optimize the price value of the institute?
Yes.
That is my target.
Yes.
So I've taken the target, but I'm not telling this as a target. That is only a mind game. It's because we have always seen from our childhood कि target sales वाला का होता है, target उसका होता है, marketing वाला का होता है. हम लोग का target कुछ नहीं होता है. But if you see actually the target, if you are sitting and you have to get the balance sheet drawn of a company, you have a target that मेरे को इतना तारीख को board meeting करना. Before that, I have to. You were there in the board of SREI Capital Market.
Yes.
So you must have seen.
I know. Right? I agree with you.
तो उसके पहले मेरे को बैलेंस शीट बनाना तो वो मेरे को उसका सेल्स वाला से फिगर लेना है, कलेक्शन वाला से फिगर लेना है. I need to see that all expenses are booked. I need to see all adjustment entries are done. I need to see that all provisions as per law has been passed on. Everything has been done. So these are all targets.
No, I agree with you. It's a good answer. It's a very good answer.
Target everywhere, everything. I have a target. I have to finish my presentation within time. I have a target that yes, it should suit to the entire student so that it gives benefit to them. That's my target. So
it's right.
It's the way you think. And target can be, had it would have not been a pandemic, I would have gone to the Joka. So my target would have been to go to Joka.
Yes.
I'm not a sales guy. I'm not doing a sales pitch over here. So
good,
sales,
very good answer.
And one more example for this phobia of sales which I'm telling about. So suppose मेरे को JNM को जाके, JNM is supposed tomorrow buying a car of 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs, right? He plans, I came to know from Sudeshna that, oh, JNM is buying a car and I'm into car funding, example. Although I am not. So what I'll do, I'll go to JNM. Hi, JNM, how are you? I want to have a cup of coffee with you. I want to go. I'll go and meet. I'll try to influence JNM. I'll try to go and talk to him. हमारे boss कैसे है, क्या है, वो पुराना दिन याद करेंगे and all that. So I'll make so pally with him that he gets impressed with me. Then मैं बोलूंगा boss मेरे को इस महीने का एक तो business करना था. I heard this car is I say for example I know he's say he's buying BMW. Give you an example. So if he wants to buy a BMW, I'll say this model is very good, a BMW. Suddenly JNM will open up. Oh, I'm looking at this particular model. I'm like, oh, why did you? Oh, so this, you can save your cost. Kaise? So all that things frills I'll talk about. It's just sell. Sell is what? Is talking between two individuals, reading both of their minds and putting your thoughts in that person's thought and doing your accomplishment what you want to do it. Simple. That's a sales, na? Nothing else.
ये Vinay very well answered. Very well answered.
ये रोज करते हैं. We sell to our dad, to our mother, to our wife, to whomsoever, to our kids कि बॉस ये करना है या नहीं करना है.
नहीं, वाइफ भी तो हम लोग को सेल करती है बहुत कुछ. वाइफ भी तो
everyone does that. Everyone does it. JNM has sold me to come to this thing, this webinar. His style of selling is different. My style of taking was different. Though it got both of things matched, right? So these are every day, every moment we sell things to each other. We in fact we are used to that. Sometimes we get noticed, sometimes we does not get noticed. So but using the word sales target, वो एक थोड़ा सा वो है. And अगर कोई आदमी का target होता ना 100 rupees मेरे को sell करना per month, that this amount have to be sold in a month or in a week. If you are into that field, you will find that 100 rupees is a very small amount to be sold. 100 is a big example I'm giving. So 100 rupees is a very small amount. The moment you are into the, when you jump into the sea, you learn how to swim. So automatically, once you are into there, you will learn the tricks of tricks of the trade. What happens? जैसे आप field में हो, you will come to know कि कैसे करते हैं. Right. So automatically 60-70%. I'll give you a very because I have worked in all the functions in the organization.
Yes, yes.
So I know these tricks of the trade. The moment you are into a function, you will know that 60, 70, 80% of the functions can work happens automatically. You have to only push for 30%. That is the USP of any function.
Yeah.
If you talk about, sorry, Jay, I'm taking your example. JNM was dean and director somewhere else, came to this यहाँ पे Calcutta Business School में. So what happens? He got 70-80% things already. It was set up. He has to only push for 20-30%. Am I right, JNM?
Yes, yes, you're right. Absolutely right.
He did not have to start with 0 to scratch to 100%. Other team members, other people are there. So,
I agree.
So this phobia of, मेरे को करना sales target, this, that, everything is wrong. ये because मेरा mindset है. It's like we think that मेरे को टाटा में जाकर कोई चीज बेचना है. We see Tata Steel का बिल्डिंग बाहर से टाटा सेंटर. अरे इस बिल्डिंग में जाके बेचना है. अरे बॉस उस बिल्डिंग में अंदर में आदमी बैठा है. We have to just enter that building. That courage is required. To a reception बोल के yes, I want to meet Mr. JNM. That's it. JNM के सामने गया, then सामने में एक इंसान दूसरा इंसान के सामने बैठा है. Nothing else. Then you should know your subject. That's it. If you know your subject, you can easily talk about it. If you can talk about it, you can sell your things or you can get your things done. हम लोग को कोई बचपन में सिखाता नहीं ना कि कैसे जाके रास्ता में जाके हमको एक तो ब्रेड लेना है, आलू खरीदना है, प्याज खरीदना है. कोई सिखाता है क्या? There we do the negotiation also. There negotiation skills comes in. So I think this kind of small examples would have removed the phobia of sales or collections, right?
Vinay, बेहतरीन जवाब. Acha, may I ask the students to post their question in the chat box so we might be able to take 2-3 questions?
Yeah, we'll do that. Just have to complete this.
No, I'm just telling the students to write it.
Yeah, sure. So then there is this functional composition. The manpower is just what sales and customer support. Then collection and recovery, which I spoke, credit evaluation, product development. Then other product functions, other support functions which I have not spoken, which I have told you. Then if you see CMBA, they are generally 50-60% who are getting employed for the product development, credit management, marketing, sales. Graduates engineers, they are generally working credit appraisals, operations, collections. Diploma holders and the below, they are into collections, support functions. That's our field functions. Like the guys who are into our field, these guys are there over there. So this is basically a functional composition of this thing. And now this is the main slide, which is what is the skills required and what is the skill gap, what we found. in the people when they come for the interview or they get employed. And this is not my source data, it's not my made up data, it's a National Skill Development Corporation's data. So in the sales and customer support function, we see the skill required is product understanding, knowledge of RBI rules and regulations, ability to drive sales, convincing skills, good communication and motivation skills, presentable and pleasing personality, right? These are the things which is required by the NBFC. Whereas the gaps, what we found is understanding of the structured product. So the guy goes into the field without understanding the structured product also. Leadership skills, they lack of confidence, lack of how to drive it, they don't know. Communication skills, they get hesitations, they don't have a proper communication skills, or might be a language barrier can become the communication skill issue. Entrepreneurial mindset is not there for the persons who are there. So all these things has to be covered up by these persons who are there in this kind of field. So this kind of gaps has to be covered, then that person can grow fast and faster in that particular field. In credit appraisal and evaluation field, again, determine customer's capacity to repay, which I said, deciding the loan quantum and term based on the customer's capability, knowledge of guarantee and collaterals, kya collaterals there are, uska knowledge or particular knowledge is there or not. Then knowledge of RBI rules, regulations required, again, it's very important. Pricing of the loan, how much to be priced, which person has to be given, what should be the pricing offering should be given, depending upon the credibility, how that credibility can be derived, analyzing the financial positions of that persons who are there. So these are the basically required skills to be into credit appraisals and evaluations. So I think with this, JNM, your answers will be clear, which you asked me initially about ITC, PwC, and Shrey, that where to go. So the person has to evaluate himself, that what skills he or she has, where is inclination, because again, only with the name of the company does not happen. It has to see in which function he or she is going, and what is his or her skill set. So what skill gaps we find is a risk-based pricing, how you can, again, the risk controls the entire organization. So risk-based pricing, how you can formulate, understanding that it's not that he has to individually create, but he has to learn that from the organization, from the market, and apply that in his job. Understanding of the alternate credit scoring parameters, so how he can make a score model in the parameters. Understanding of cash flows of the customers, and seeing how that cash flow is going to repay his loans, what he is going to give to that customer or not. Then second is for the collection and recovery, third function. Here the person's track of receivables, keeping track of receivables from customers, determining customers who are defaulting, identifying customers who may default based on past payment history, ability to segregate customers into various categories based on their level of default and take appropriate actions for collection. Basically, it's a analyzing history, understanding the customer behavior, and using that for collection. And the skill gap, where what we find here is knowledge of recovery laws and its application, because he may go and do a recovery at night at 11 o'clock, which is again as per RBI guidelines it's banned. He may put the company into a trouble, because if he does not know the RBI guidelines, that a person cannot do recovery after 7 o'clock as per RBI guidelines. This is one example which I'm giving you. So cordial relation with the local influencers and law enforcement agencies. Suppose I have to do a recovery, say at Joka, and I don't have any, might be my customers are based out of that, might be a local goon also, but my local, the Neta is not there with me. I don't know him. I don't know the local police thana. So with anybody's complaint, I can be, taken against any charge by that local thana. So that all things have to be done. The person who is good at PR should be in collections with this. That's what here we want to say. Then product designing is again track market and study competitors' products. What are the products available in the market? Design loan products. So the various kinds of loan products depending upon the need. Like right now, there's a COVID environment. So in this COVID environment, what you can tweak the loan product and offer to the market, which can sell in the market. So that kind of innovations required who is into product designing in NBFC right now. So building in maximum profitability in designated loan products. So how the person will design that product which can give maximum benefit to the organization, as well as it should be win-win basically to the customer as well as to the organization.
Acha, Vinay, just interrupting you. How much more time will take? Because we have
just done. It's done. I'll skip the ILFS one, which I have Yeah.
because we have got some really good questions.
Yeah, sure. So hiring outlook for lateral hiring outlook, I'll take just 2 minutes on that. Is a lateral hiring is to be on lower side. Fresh recruitment right now is it's muted right now. Basically, nobody is doing that. Very few people are doing in NBFC sector because the sector itself is going through a tough time right now, because the borrowers to whom the money has been given have not been repaid by them, as cash flows are not there. Plus, you must have seen that government has come out with the moratorium and all that things, interest waiver scheme and all that. So that is why till December we see there's no offtake right in NBFC sector. So this ILFS, I'll skip this. I think it's done with mine this thing. So thanks.
No. I think first a round of applause for you, because you are still 100 plus. Normally what happens is when presentation starts is 100 and then it drops to 70. But I think yours was more like a professorial class. Like a professor. You should now.
So I'm honored. I am honored, and I should say I'm flattered. Thanks to all the guys who have so patiently heard my.
No. It was very, very informative. My faculty members are also there. So the first question to you is from Sumita. She's a first year student, but she's done almost a company secretaryship is over. She's saying, sir, you're a brilliant chartered accountant. Can you kindly tell us the career prospects of MBAs in NBFCs?
Okay. So let me give a little bit of background. I think the answer will be automatically given to everyone. My company vice chairman, JNM, for you would be knowing, Sunil, is a chartered accountant.
Yes.
And as a high core, he was a SOCHM this thing president also.
Yes, I know.
He's a छोड़िए बहुत सारा चीज है उसका. So forget about it. So what he is basically, he started as an operational guy in the organization. He's the promoter, he's the owner.
Yeah.
But today he is the best sales guy in the organization. Similarly, my managing director, he's a chartered accountant. Devendra Kumar Vyas. So he also hails from Calcutta only, and he started again with the audit operations like I have done, and today he's the MD of the company, and he runs this what JNM says 40,000 crore company. Okay, and his offtake is that if he sits anywhere in the market as a MD of this company of NBFC, infrastructure sector, if it runs with his decision, so for example, I'll give you an example. Say I'm talking about before 2 years. These are all scenarios before 2 years, because post ILFS a lot of issues has happened in the market. So if industry wanted to increase the market share, so what they used to say, they used to call Mr. Vyas, Mr. Sunil Kanodia, and they used to say कि boss हम लोग को अपना sales बढ़ाना है, what to do. So then we used to come and pitch, and we have to float a lot of schemes and products in the market. And JNM has seen that kind of thing at the time of KK Monte and all that same thing. So we used to do a lot of events, and we used to increase the market. Basically, the sales of GDP, what you in your understanding GDP, the GDP of infrastructure market used to increase. And coming back to the question of MBA. So MBA fit in very well in terms, because the difference which has in fact has been reduced a lot as of now. MBAs are a good communicator. They have been taught very good presentation and communication skills, whereas in CS it was not, but now they have started doing that. So, and the difference between MBA and CA, one more major difference, which anyone can correct me. CA can understand an impact of an event, that where it's going to impact at the last point till the balance sheet level, which MBA may not, because they do a macro study, whereas a CA does a micro study.
Yeah, agreed.
So that is the difference, major difference between an MBA and the CA. If you see any MD CEO of any organization, you will find mostly, barring few biochemical or hospitalization kind of thing, hospital industry, MBAs are mainly the CEOs and MDs of the organization.
Right.
But these days, chartered accountants are also becoming like that, because their in-depth knowledge of each and every function. So in NBFC, MBAs fit in very well. In fact, MBAs are mostly required for all front job, means all sales. Any, suppose if I have to deal tomorrow with ITC to crack a deal of 2000 crore of funding, right? There, my front end person will be an MBA. Might be there will be along with him, there will be credit person who might be a CA, but
Right.
the front end will be a MBA who knows how to present, how he will go and talk to Deveshwar or whomsoever he has to go and talk. So how he's going to talk to them, how he's going to mold him, how he's going to, he will take all back support. So MBAs are mainly used for front office jobs, which is sales, marketing, customer support, customer interactions, that kind of job in NBFCs.
Acha, Anubhav has got a very good question. So, more than a teacher, you can answer this. He is rightly saying that, there's a lot of insecurity of losing the job if an employee fails to meet the sales target. So he says how to overcome that and what is to be done.
Okay. So what kind of answer I should give in this?
नहीं, he is saying rightly कि लोग बहुत डरते हैं कि सर अगर टारगेट नहीं मिला नौकरी चले जाएगा, तो आपके अनुभव से बताइए क्या इन लोगों को करना चाहिए.
So if I'll give an example of a camel. If anyone can remember camel को हम लोग क्यों याद करते हैं? Because एक तो उसका हाइट ज्यादा होता है, दूसरा that guy stores water in his back, right? Because that guy is always there in the desert, so अपना स्टोर करता है. So जो भी आदमी का जो टारगेट्स होता है ना, उसका जो स्लिप होता है ना, कफलिंग यहाँ पे ऑलवेज कुछ बिजनेस यहाँ पड़ा रहता है. सपोज I have been, JNM is giving me a business target of 100 rupees to be done in a month. Okay. So I will source my business set to 150 rupees. And 50 rupees मेरा स्लिप में रहेगा, कफलिन में रहेगा, मेरा कॉलर में छिपा के रखूंगा, पॉकेट में छिपा के रखूंगा. And 100 rupees मैं JNM को दूंगा कि सर मेरा 100 rupees का टारगेट ये हो गया. Right. Next month मेरे पास 50 rupees है और फिर मैं 100 rupees फिर सोर्स कर रहा हूँ. So always I will have a buffer of 50 rupees with me. So there will, if the guy plays like that, और उसमें मैं जो पहले बताया, the first 60-70% of the target always and automatically comes in. If I am into the market, it will automatically float in. तो मेरे को 30% पे काम करना है. But that 30% और मेरे पास रिजर्व जो रहता है, right? Every month I create the reserve for the next month. So मेरा month start नहीं होता उसके पहले मेरे पास reserve create. That's a guru mantra for any business or sales target. Suppose for example मेरे को, if I'm a teacher in CBS और मेरे को पढ़ाना है, so I have to study chapter, teach chapter 1. So what मेरा chapter 1 will get completed by this weekend. By this weekend I will start you're rehearsing my chapter 2 also at home.
Right.
So that next week मेरे को chapter 2 का first page मेरे को पता होगा.
Right.
Same way sales में और for any target. So अगर मेरे को, if I see if I'm an accounts, I'm a chartered accountant, if I have to do a target of anything, so I will ask my juniors, I'll ask my colleagues, I'll ask my team members to do certain things in advance so that मेरा वो time target आने के पहले मेरा काम 50% 30% completed है. So this is the best answer I think, where if you do follow this technique, you will never be a failure.
नहीं, ये तो है. I'll just supplement from a professor's angle and from an industry example कि एक चीज याद रखना students कि the maximum number of jobs will always be in business development. AI and robotics cannot take away a job of a business development guy, the ideas.
True.
So I will also tell you from one thing from my own life. When I was 27, I used to be really scared of sales. I used to be really scared of targets. But today, I'm very bored if I have to sit whole day with a computer. So, you can also develop your personality. Don't, like as Vinay said, everything is sales finally. So don't be static and say कि नहीं मुझे कभी नहीं करना है. And let us not be enamored of neither the Tata Center nor any centers. We should not be enamored because we don't. अंदर में जो है, one more thing, Vinay will agree with me. Most important thing in your life is your boss. अगर आपको बॉस अच्छा मिल गया तो आपको जॉब भी अच्छा मिल जाएगा. और अगर आप आईटीसी में जाओगे, अगर आपका बॉस, मैंने क्या खराब गाली नहीं देना चाहता हूँ, अगर वो सब मिलता है तो आपका लाइफ हेल हो जाएगा.
I have seen people, in fact, lot of people who has joined ITC left ITC.
Yeah.
I am not saying कि ITC खराब है, company is not good.
नहीं.
Calcutta ITC, I applied in ITC, I didn't got the job. I'm talking about 30 years back. ठीक है, 30 नहीं, 25 years back. So मेरे को I got rejected. at that point of time, because I was not a very good studious with a high rank guys, because they wanted that for a fresher as a CA उस टाइम पे. So I've seen people who have left ITC. ITC का एक जॉब, मतलब एक आदमी सोचेगा कि बॉस ITC मिल गया, আমি তো এখানেই থাকবো পুরো চিরদিন, আমি এখান থেকে রিটায়ারমেন্ট হবো. That would be the thought of the people, but people have left ITC. I have in my residence in my complex, I have a guy who heads the ITC tax department, stays with me. So he's a friend of mine. So I know what is there in IT. So that's just from the glamour and the name fame, you should not go. You should see where do you fit in. What is your capacity? What is your capability? If suppose I don't have that strength of driving a truck and I have a strength of driving a Maruti Alto, if JNM asks me ki boss Vinay tum jaake truck chalao, and I happily go and I may get 5 rupees more over there, I will be failure in driving the truck, क्योंकि मेरे पास वो स्ट्रेंथ नहीं, मेरे बॉडी में वो स्टैमिना नहीं है, वो गियर लगाने का, वो मेरे को ट्रक का व्हील घुमाने का, मेरे पास वो स्टीयरिंग घुमाने का कैपेसिटी नहीं है, मेरा उतना पावर नहीं है हाथ में. So if I underestimate that and if I take a job of driving a truck rather than driving a Maruti Alto, I will be failing both ways. Neither I got a Maruti Alto nor I'm getting a truck.
नहीं, और एक चीज जो सबसे मुझे अच्छा लगा, स्टूडेंट्स, वन थिंग आई रियली लाइक्ड द वे विनय इज सेइंग दैट आई कुड नॉट क्रैक आईटीसी, मुझे नहीं मिला आईटीसी. तो दिस इज समथिंग, यू नो, वी शुड आल्सो बी एबल टू से लाइक विनय कि ये इंटरव्यू नहीं मिला. यू नो, आप लोग का जनरेशन में हार्ट ब्रेक बहुत जल्दी होता है, ब्रेकअप बहुत जल्दी होता है, हार्ट ब्रेक उससे भी जल्दी होता है. सो हार्ट ब्रेक मत होने दीजिए, लाइफ का पार्ट है हार्ट ब्रेक. आप जो जो चीज सोचेंगे जिंदगी में नहीं मिलेगा, शायद वही आपके नसीब में और वही शायद आपके अच्छे के लिए है. और प्लीज प्लीज कोई भी चीज के ऊपर इतना ज्यादा मतलब ये हो जाएगी कि वो सर डिले हो गया, सर मन खराब हो गया, मन को खराब इतने जल्दी मत होने दीजिए. जो भी होगा मन को तो अच्छा रखेंगे हम लोग. आई एम ऑलवेज 9 out of 10, यू विल सी मी. वेरी फ्यू, इफ आई बिकम less than 8, I tell myself, no, I have to have faith in God. I'm again going to 9 out of 10. So, you know, Pragya is laughing and laughing. I can see her. So that is the way to enjoy a seminar. Sumita is also now started laughing because she is now going to cook Ilish Mach today, I think. So, Sumita, again today you're going to cook Ilish Mach at Jamshedpur, I can make out.
Sir, no, sir.
Pragya is
It
also
was
laughing.
yesterday on Dashami.
Oh, okay.
On Dashami.
Okay. So basically, you know, like the way Pragya is enjoying the webinar, I'm very happy. We should enjoy. And I think Vinay, I had brought him with some expectations, but he has surpassed all expectations of mine. You know, he's surpassed. I thought he was a very introvert kind of guy. He's a very good friend of mine. But utne इच्छा बहुत ही अच्छा किया. अच्छा, एक कंचन शर्मा का बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न है आपके लिए. Can you please throw some light on how fund-based functions are different from fee-based functions in a NBFC, or I'm adding in a bank also? So that will be a really useful answer. It's a very good knowledge answer. अब बताइए विनय जी.
Okay. So, who has asked this question?
This is asked by Kanchan Sharma. She's a BA LLB student of
Okay, Kanchan, suppose you have a 1 lakh rupees in your bank account, okay, and you wanted to earn out of it. What you do, you put it in a savings account, you get interest out of it, or you put it in FD, okay. Or the next point, next work, what you can do is you give it to JNM to buy his car BMW. So JNM took that money. Suppose he was paying 10% interest to the banker, he will pay you 10%. So in savings account, you will get 3%. So giving to JNM, you will get 10%. So you earn 10% from that money and you are getting 7% more compared to your savings account, right? So this is what you are earning from that 1 lakh rupees. So per year, you will be earning 7,000 more. If you had kept in your savings account, 3,000 you would have got. You have given to JNM, it's 10,000, 7,000 more. Risk is what? JNM can return you that money, cannot return you that money. That is the risk. But in bank, the risk is zero, correct? So this is called fund-based business. Means you are having money with you, or say you have borrowed money, 1 lakh rupees, further you have borrowed from your mom and given to JNM. So 2 lakh rupees you have given to JNM. So this is called fund-based business. Non-fund-based business is what? That JNM said, I want 1 lakh rupees. You borrowed from your mom had a 1 lakh rupees. You have coordinated, just match your mom money with your JNM's requirement, given him the money, and you have asked JNM, boss, you have to give me 1% for that. So he has paid you a fees of 1% on 1 lakh, means 1,000 rupees you have earned. That is called fee income. So where you have not invested, but what you have done is you have facilitated that money to JNM and you have earned money. That is the difference between a fund base. Fund base is basically putting your own money or borrowed money to a person, and for non-fund based is fee based income is basically the money which you have arranged for someone and earned fees out of it. I hope I'm clear with this example.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Kanchan, this is a good interview preparation also for you. These are such nice thing.
Yes,
Asha, Vinay, one
this
last
was
question.
important takeaway.
Yeah, Kanchan?
So this was an important takeaway, sir.
Yeah. I think he talked more like a professor. Vinay, a quick, easy question for you, which you will be the master. Difference between leasing and hire purchase, please, from you.
So hire purchase तो आज का डेट में होता ही नहीं है. Hire purchase has, in fact, practically it has got abolished from India since 2004 or something like that, because the government rules have comes like that nobody is doing hire purchase. So I'll just give an example. Simple way में मैं बताता हूँ. So I'll explain loan, hire purchase, and lease with an example of a car, so that will be easily understandable for everyone. So we have I want to say again, कौन लेगा? Say Vinay wants to buy a car. Okay, I don't have money. So what I'll do is I want to buy a car. I want to buy, say, Maruti 800. I don't have money, 5 lakh rupees or whatever is the price, and I have, say, 1 lakh rupees. So I'll go to the bank or an NBFC, apply with my credibility. That credit person that will assess my collection, sales person will talk to me. He will take my documents, assess that, and confirm, okay, sir, आपको 4 lakh का loan मिल गया, for 4 years or 5 years you repay that money. That's a loan. Simple. कि मेरे को 4 साल 5 साल में or 3 years में I have to pay that money. Adding my installment would be my principal payment plus interest. That's a loan. Simple. Now, अब second product हो गया जो earlier था, which JNM has said. I'm just explaining that, which is nowhere in the right now prevalent in the market. Hire purchase. Hire purchase में क्या था? So the guy say, now I'm going to Shrey. Shrey, what will do is Shrey will buy that Maruti 800. It will, the invoice, the ownership will be in the name of Shrey, which will mention that Vinay Agarwal is the hire purchaser. Means basically he will get the money, he will get the ownership of the car once he repay my money. Okay. So that is the difference between hire purchase agreement. The owner will be called as Shrey, and Vinay is the hire purchaser. And again, the same system, 4 lakh rupees they will give me, 1 lakh I have put in as a down payment. The day I repay my entire money, they will transfer the ownership at 1 rupee value to me. That invoice, say I took a loan in 2020, in 2025 the loan is repaid. In 2025 they will raise an invoice in my name at 1 rupee. That is called hire purchase transaction, right? This is hire purchase. And in loan, what happens after 5 years? The bank will give NOC and the invoice which has an hypothecation of Shrey when I've taken a loan, that will get cancelled. So then I become the complete owner after 5 years of Maruti Alto 800. Now comes to lease. Operating lease are basically two kinds: operating and financial. So for let's not go into complications. Only lease, let's understand. In leasing is what Shrey, again in the similar fashion, Shrey will take the assets Maruti 800, give Vinay Agarwal on lease for 5 years. Again, 100 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, they will keep my money as a security deposit. 4 lakh rupees I have to repay along with the interest cost as a lease rental to Shrey for 4 years. The moment that lease rental is done, paid, completely paid, at the end of the 5th year, I will be invoiced the car back to Shrey, to Vinay from Shrey, but at the fair market value. That is governed by Ind AS 9 of the accounting standard. So what is required is basically a difference between hire purchase and lease is that in hire purchase, the ownership gets transferred at 1 rupee. In lease, it has to be transferred at fair market value at that point of time for that particular asset. This is basically the major difference. Plus, the owner, legal owner, as well as the title owner of the asset, in both the cases are Shrey only during the tenure. But I can have that right to use that asset. So nobody can stop me for driving or parking that car or getting colored that car for anything or for any purpose. So this is the main difference between lease, hire purchase, and loan. It's in fact a very lengthy topic, but I have to just cut short it. I may think that a lot of people must have not understood this because it's a little bit complicated.
It's okay, but it's fine. It's fine. But I think since we have almost passed 1.5 hours, there were still some questions. So I think that is Dil Mange more for you, Vinay. So I think once the institute opens, I think the students and faculty would like to have you, and that we had sales target for you to actually come here beyond Jokha, because you stay in Ultaranga. Your office is also in Sector 5, so that we'll send you a car to pick you up. We'll send you a nice car. Though you have a bigger car, but we'll send you somewhere between Alto and BMW. We'll send you a car. And
I was thinking that you would be sending yours BMW.
Teachers don't have BMW, but I definitely wish my students to have BMWs. That is the parichay. The more my students do well, I will be more happy. So I think today, Vinay, we have to thank you sincerely and thank you for profusely. Your father is in the hospital, still you came and you spent more than 1.5 hours with us. You had an informal session also, very friendly. So Sumita, though I did not tell you, but can you, propose a small vote of thanks for Vinay sir? Sumita.
So thank you so much, sir, for taking out time. First of all, I wish a speedy recovery for your father.
Thank you.
And we know that he will get well soon. And we hope you to meet up in the campus very soon, because first year students have yet not got chance to visit the campus. So it would be a delight to have you there. Thank you for explaining everything with so much ease. Like it was a cup of cake, like a very simple thing for us to understand such big jargons. So thank you, sir. We wish you a very happy Vijayadashmi, first of all, again.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking out time, sir. We wish you to have more with us and enlighten us with more knowledge about financial sectors.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
So from Calcutta Business School side, from my side, from behalf of all the faculty and students, we wish you all the good luck. And we wish, please convey our deep regards to Mr. Sunil Kanoria, Mr. Devendra Vyas, Mr. Hemant Kanoria, and all the Shreyats whom I used to know in 2002. So many of them are still there. I think Sashi Tiwari is still there, right?
Yeah, he's there.
So I think that many people who have still there. Since Shrey is a lifetime career, I think, many. ITC क्यों Shrey में career बनता है. So I think this is one company. So Vinay साहब, this was not the purpose, but अगर आप इस साल भी recruit कर रहे हैं तो definitely हमारे campus में हम आपको, and I'll tell our chairman placement to get in touch with you formally. That also will tell you.
Yeah.
So today, then Shaba Khair. Good night.
You, and thanks a lot for JNM for giving me this opportunity to interact with 100 people at a one go, and I am sure this 100 will multiply always. And anybody can knock me on the road somewhere and hi Mr. Vinay, how are you? We have attended your class. Might be I'm not knowing that guy, but he would be from CBS, and that's a kind of a networking what we can have. Thanks a lot. Thanks for such a lovely audience. Thank you.
Okay. Shaba Khair. Good night.